Hello guys, welcome to the new video, and this time it is about this quirky little car, the Dacia Spring, second generation of it. Right now I am charging after a cold night. The car was standing still, so that's why we don't have a really big sort of charging speed. As you can see, 57%, only 5 kilowatts of power going into the battery, and that's because it really is a cold battery after the whole night. We have the optional DC charging, as it is top of the Ranger, 30 kilowatt charging. At least in my opinion, because I'm using this car this week just like I do every other car. So I do motorway drives, almost 1,000 kilometers during the week. So it really gets a test of not what it's designed for. It's designed mainly for the city and driving to and back from work. So for that, the 30 kilowatt charging is okay, but if you're driving long distances, it's really not okay. I was 2 hours late. I felt like a loser because of that, because of this charging, and also because of the aerodynamics. This car, because of the body of an SUV body that it has a drag coefficient of 0.42, and that's why on the motorway at 130 kilometers, it only does around 100 kilometers until you have only 30% of the battery. So on the motorway, you can do maybe 130 kilometers with this car doing its maximum speed, which is 130. But yeah, in this new generation, we have a brand new design, and it looks much more like a Dacia, and it looks much nicer, and it looks much more like a normal car. So we have this really nice signature, the Y letter here. It's a nice LED, it feels high quality. We have the main beam here. It actually reminds me of some Hyundai cars. And we have a nice design, front and rear on the bumper, which looks like the city, and this SE65 Dacia Spring electric powertrain, a little opening for cooling on the bumper. And then we go to the wheels. So this car has a narrow tires of 165 R15T. So these tires are what you would get in the past on the most basic Renault Clio. It's quite a narrow tires, and we have the Steely's wheels with these plastic covers, aerodynamic covers, but they look really nice, I have to say. And it has to be the SUV styling with these plastic arches. So yeah, if we look from the side, the car is really short, I think 3.7 meters. We have a very simple rear axle here, a torsion one, as you can see. That is how it looks. And here is the design from the rear. Very simple, with a big Dacia logo in it. Again, new lights, small wiper. It's just really nice. Another thing I want to show you, which is always important in my videos. Let me just unlock the car. You have a key like this, so you can unlock it like this. And what's very important is the conception in my videos. So, and look at this. So in the Dacia, the driver is sitting actually quite far from the front wheels, so giving you good feel actually when you're driving the car, and good weight distribution. The car weighs at 1 ton and 50 kilos, so 1050 kilos, which is again very similar to what my old Renault Clio of the third generation, my first car, weighed. That was 1090 kilos. This is 1050 kilos. And just to show you also the space in the rear, that's actually really small. I would not be able to sit behind myself, but you do get electric windows in here, which is actually quite cool in such an affordable electric car. And more about the interior I will tell you in the driving part, but you can have a look. It feels and looks much better than in the first generation of the car. You also get an armrest, which is really cool. I did not expect that. And yeah, more about that in the driving part. So that would be around about it to the walk around of the Dacia Spring. And now let's sit in the car, drive it, and talk about the experience with it. Guys, it is evening and let's have a little bit of a test on the Dacia Spring on the ghost loss of range during the night. So it is going to be quite a cold night of 0 degrees, and now as you can see we're at 96% and 196 kilometers of range, and let's see what that is going to look like in the morning. Okay guys, so now it's morning, it's 0 degrees outside as I said, and let's check the ghost loss in the battery or in terms of range. So this is the nice startup, just like in any other new Dacia, and from 196 kilometers we have a range of 191 kilometers. So that's 5 kilometers away from the battery and 1% down to what we charged yesterday evening. Okay guys, let's have a look at how it goes. So I'm driving at 95 kilometers on the motorway on the cruise control. As you can see, it's -3 degrees outside, and let's have a look at the consumption that I'm currently having. So at this temperature and this speed, I have a consumption of 16 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So that means I am not going to make it to my destination because it's 170 kilometers there, and I have a range of only 117. So that's how it goes, but at least it's beautiful outside. Look at this. That is a beautiful morning. Absolutely mesmerizing. Right, so I think it's a time for a little bit of recap. So when I first started the journey, it showed me that I'm gonna do 191 kilometers from 96% of the battery. And look at this, we're at 29% battery, and look what we did. We only did just now 100 kilometers on these what is it, almost 60% battery. We done only 100 kilometers, so there is no way we will do 190 kilometers from those 96%. So yeah, that's quite the bad efficiency, and considering I'm only doing 95 kilometers an hour on the cruise control, I'm not going very fast, with the fuel consumption that's now starting to fall down at 15.8. So yeah, that's how it is driving on a motorway with the Spring. Really bad. Things look like this. After only 102 kilometers, we have to charge the Dacia Spring while doing 95 kilometers per hour on the cruise control on the motorway. I do give it, it has a lot of valleys on the way, and the temperature was -6 degrees at the beginning. At some points, well, no, not -6, -4 degrees. And now that I'm going down here, it's 4 or 5 degrees. Now 2 degrees because we're in a valley. But still, I mean, the efficiency, because of the aerodynamics, and yeah, I wasn't even using the air conditioning in the car. So yeah, right now I'm charging, and you can have a look at 26 kilowatts of power. So that's how the battery got heated up, so that it can use 26 kilowatts. And let's see how long we are staying here to charge the car. Friends, let's have a look at how it looks like with the Dacia Spring. I have to say, I had a talk with the other owner. He was standing here with the older generation. Well, I gotta give one thing to this car. It's a really good looking car, this Dacia Spring of the new generation. Look at the beautiful rear that it has. It has a beautiful design here on the bumper, and yeah, Now with these winter tires we don't have Chinese tires on it, and the interior looks like in a Dacia Sandero or something. So let's have a look at, so we've been here for almost half an hour. Look at this, 28 minutes, and the charging speed is at 24 kilowatts, so slightly lower. 28 minutes, 11 kilowatt hours charging to the battery, and from 28 to 74% in half an hour. And I think that's enough. Let's carry on with the journey. Let's unplug it, drink the coffee on the way, and let's carry on. Guys, look at this. So this is how it looks when you drive the Dacia Spring at 120 kilometers on the motorway. Listen to the loudness of it. It's not too bad actually. And the fuel consumption has gone slightly up. Let me show you. So we were at 15.7 or 8 and now 16.2. But actually now that I'm not driving it on cruise control, I can actually see that here on this small part I'm actually doing better than the cruise control when I'm driving at this speed than the cruise control was doing at 95 kilometers per hour. So that's actually, yeah, that's quite nice, I gotta say. And there is my shelf with my tissues, as I'm a little bit ill. Look at this. My home is 48 kilometers away. And do you know what's the range that I get left? 48 kilometers at this speed. 47 now. So, are we gonna risk it? Are we gonna make it? I think we are. Let's do this. Mission successful. Look at this. We are at my home charger in my hometown. Look at this. And we've come here with 4% battery and 7 kilometers of range left. And let's have a look at the consumption. 16.3. So I upped the pace and it went from 15.8 to 16.3. We've done 206 kilometers. I'm on the way since 5:30 a.m. and now it's 8:20. So that's how long it took me to do these 206 kilometers. So it's much longer than I would have done in my ICE car, but I'm doing this for the test. I'm doing this for you. So this is how long it takes. And 16.3 kilowatt hours at the temperature, starting at -4 degrees and finishing at +10 degrees temperature. So now let's charge the car, and that's about it to the range of this car, of the Dacia Spring 65, second generation. So look at this, and the car now charges at its highest speed that I noticed during the test, 33 kilowatts and 32 kilowatts. Then I found an information that it can do maximum 34 kilowatts, but the manufacturer says 30 kilowatts DC charging. So this is what you can do, 32, 33 when the battery is at its optimal temperature. And let's see how long it takes to 100%. It's gonna be somewhere in here. And it takes 1 hour and 8 minutes. So it's gonna be 1 hour and 15 minutes or 1 hour and 20 minutes to 100%, and 49 minutes to 80%, so around 55 minutes to 80% in reality. Well, okay guys, so now I think it's probably time to talk about the experience with the Dacia Spring. Well, I have to say, for all of the week I've used it in a very unusual setup for it, because this car is of course designed to be only used for the city and driving to and back from work. And I have to say, for this sort of behavior, this car is really nice, and now even nicer because you have more comfort in the interior. It looks much more like a Dacia Sandero than the previous Spring, which looked like some very basic car. But I used it just like I would use a petrol car. So I'm doing also Motorway now at the moment, and I have to say, unluckily for this, well, the car is not designed to do it, and it's a little bit annoying when you're doing this. So to the consumptions, so you can do usual consumptions when you're not on the motorway. You can do around 14 kilowatt hours now in the winter, 14.4, 14.3. We have the winter tires. When you're driving on the B roads at 100 kilometers per hour, regioning on the down the mountain pass. Yeah, 14.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So I think that's actually quite good. And over the whole week, even despite driving on the motorways, I have an average consumption of 15.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is actually not that bad, right? And yeah, that's right. And then on the motorway, well, when you're starting off with a cold battery, the car showed me that I'm going to do 191 kilometers on 96% of the battery. But the reality is that I had to charge after 100 kilometers and the battery went down from 96% to 28%. So I would only be able to do around 140 kilometers on those 96% as compared to the 191 it was stating. Right, so that's how it is about the efficiency of this car. Of course, on the motorway nothing can help it because it has a drag coefficient of 0.42, which is quite high, and that is because we have a really high ground clearance, we have an SUV body style, and the car is very short. So yeah, that's really about it. But other than that, I have to say the car is actually quite nice to drive. The sitting position is quite nice. I'm sitting relatively far behind from the front wheel, so I actually do feel really nice driving this car into the corners. I even drove this car on the mountain path, and I have to say it was really rather nice there. It had good grip. From a technical standpoint of behavior, the car was behaving really nicely, leaning onto the outer rear wheel, as I say is ideal in a car for a good feel. So that's what it was doing when you were entering the corner, and it had a good grip considering we have a tiny narrow tires of 165 millimeters. So it was actually quite nice to drive. And from point of space, well, I'm a tall person, I'm 190 centimeters, and for me to be seated comfortably in the car, I have to have the seat in its most furthest position in the rear. So just for your imagination how it is sitting for a tall person in this car, right? Yeah, but I think actually overall I have to say I'm quite pleased with this car, even despite this problem on the motorway, because it feels much better than the previous generation. We have this new high quality display here with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's absolutely great. We have a new infotainment system here, so that's great. Also the new digital screen ahead of the driver, like from the other Dacias. New steering wheel, electric mirrors. We have the air conditioning, 2 USB-C connectors for charging here, electric windows, electrically adjustable these side mirrors on the car, which is nice. We have a more quirky, much better looking interior than before. It actually looks lively. You have these white elements into it. You have this shelf that my girlfriend loved, so that was very nice and practical. And still underneath the shelf you have the glove box, which is a decent size, I have to say. You also do get an armrest, which is very cool. An armrest which also has a storage space in it, which is very cool. And another new thing that you get, and that can improve the efficiency, is that you get the B mode. The B mode for the battery region with this car on this stalk that is for the gearbox. And then other things here in the front, we have this U-clip cup holder, I think it's called. There is also an LED light, a 12-volt socket, some other trays for the card or a wallet or a phone, and another cup holder, so 2 cup holders in the front. Yeah, I gotta say it's actually quite nice, this car, in terms of equipment. It definitely does not feel as basic as the previous generation of the car. It feels much nicer. It's much nicer in terms of exterior design and interior design and comfort of the car. So yeah, I have to say actually quite nice. So how would I sum up the car? Well, it's definitely and certainly really good if you're living, let's say, around 120 kilometers, well, 100 kilometers from your work. In this circle you can drive even in a rush at 130 kilometers and get to your destination safely. But if you wanted to buy this car and use it also for longer journeys, well, you better have a lot of time and well, the biggest problem with its usability on these long distances is the slow charging. Only 30 kilowatts is actually really slow, and that's the only thing stopping it from being more versatile than it could be. And then of course the aerodynamics. If they were much better, the range would be better. Yeah, but for what it's designed to do, for what the Renault engineers, the Dacia engineers intended to do, to make a nice city car that's simple, usable and affordable, they've done a fantastic job with this new generation. It's a much more pleasant car to drive, it's much more pleasant car to use as a whole and to look at, and I think yeah, it's quite nice. So yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you about the Dacia Spring. Well, if you found the video useful, well, keep watching, keep subscribing, because more videos are coming on very soon, and I hope to see you in the very next video. In the meantime, take care of you and goodbye.